A girl walks into a convenience store and buys some sanitary pads. She's super embarrassed and asks the cashier to be faster. After she runs out of the store, she notices some men walking behind her carrying bags. The girl is scared and starts walking faster. The men behind her are frustrated that they have to stay here for 3 months and worry that something will be all over the internet tomorrow. The girl is worried about what the men mean when they suddenly express the heaviness of Matilda. She assumes that the men are carrying a dead body of a woman. As she is about to start running, she comically slips on a banana peel, and her sanitary pads land in front of the men. They ask if she's okay, but she runs to her house and into her room. Yeonhee, the girl, is frustrated when suddenly her brother barges into her room and tells her that some people are moving next door to them, and it's a bunch of good-looking guys. Yeonhee gets shy and excited to meet these men and dreams about being surrounded by a bunch of good-looking men. The next day, Yeonhee's mother wakes her up for breakfast and threatens to kick her out since she is 23. Her mother heads downstairs, and Yeonhee thinks about the mysterious men she saw yesterday. She searches online for recent murders, but no results show up. While scrolling through the internet, she finds another big news. The famous boy band EXO member Suho has been injured, so their international tour has been cancelled. Yeonhee thinks that her friend Gun must be in tears now since she's a diehard EXO fan. Yeonhee heads downstairs for breakfast, and her mother tells her to deliver their key card to the new neighbors as she is the realtor. Yeonhee insists that her mom or brother should do it, but they both decline. Yeonhee's mother tells her to either do the task or pay rent. She agrees, and her mother tells her to dress up nicely. Yeonhee is angry since this isn't an interview or anything. Later, she starts getting ready to meet her new neighbors, goes through a few clothes, and ends up selecting a dress. She notices her new neighbors van parked outside and heads to hand the card over to them. However, she realizes that her new neighbors aren't that good-looking after all. They are average-looking Korean men. Yeonhee heads back into her house and into her room, calling herself a fool for expecting too much from her new neighbors. Yeonhee, 23 years old, has never once dated a man. She turns into a stone in front of men she likes, and her face turns bright red. Once in high school, she called her crush to meet her alone, and when he arrived, she couldn't say a word and turned into a brick. Her crush left her there alone since she wouldn't say a word. Yeonhee heads downstairs for a snack and watches EXO on her family TV. Her brother joins in, annoying her. He notices some men going into their next-door house, their neighbors. Yeonhee had told her brother that their new neighbors were really ugly, but by the looks of it, they had an above-average appearance. Her brother glances at the TV and the members of EXO, and their neighbors look alike. Yeonhee's mother joins in, telling her to deliver rice cakes to their neighbors while they're still warm, as it's customary in Korea to give new neighbors rice cakes. In her comfy clothes, Yeonhee heads inside her neighbor's house and puts the rice cakes on their table since they don't seem to be home. Intrigued by the smell of the rice cakes, she decides to take a bite when suddenly she starts choking on it. She heads to the fridge and grabs some water to drink when suddenly someone calls upon her. Yeonhee spits the water out onto the stranger's face, and she recognizes this person. It's none other than an EXO member. She has now realized that her neighbors are, in fact, the members of the famous Korean boy band EXO. The night before, the EXO members move in. They head inside their house, which they find quite amazing. A member, Chanel, is asked if this house is really his grandparents', since it's so chic and modern. Chanel explains to his other members that his parents fixed it up because it was too run down. Seon speaks up. There aren't any beds, and they are going to arrive the next day. The members wonder what to do now. They sleep on the floor and couch in sleeping bags. Meanwhile, Chanel thinks about his grandfather. The next day, 2 of the members move in some boxes and wake the others up. They smell something good coming from the kitchen and wonder if their manager has brought something to eat. When they are almost there, They see a weird girl drinking water from their fridge, and it's Yeonhee. Shell goes up to confront her and asks what she is doing in his grandfather's house, but even before he can speak, Yeonhee spits her water out from her mouth. Her face goes bright red, and she runs back into her room. After telling her brother that their neighbors are EXO, she calls her friend Gun and tells her that EXO has moved next to her. Gun doesn't believe Yeonhee for a second but instantly calls a taxi and heads towards Yeonhee's home. There, Gun meets Yeonhee, who is hiding binoculars behind herself. Gun has brought another pair of binoculars with her to look at the EXO members. As the duo looks at the EXO members, they can't believe their eyes. The members' jawlines are so sharp that they could cut paper, and their facial proportions are unrealistic. Yeonhee is also fawning over them but remembers her embarrassing moment of spitting water out onto Chanel's face. Yeonhee's mother walks in on the duo spying on the EXO members. Yeonhee's mother tells Gun to go back to her home, and she asks Yeonhee what she did since her face is all red again. Yeonhee ignores the questions and asks her mom why she keeps sending their new neighbor stuff. She asks her mom if she knows what the people living next to them do for a living. Yeonhee is suspicious since her mother wouldn't give just anyone her grandfather's house. Yeonhee's mother tells her to stop pestering her and clean up her room since it's a mess. This means one thing. Yeonhee is the only one who knows that one of the most famous boy bands in the world is living next to her home. Meanwhile, in the EXO house, they talk to Kai, another member, on a video call. Sean keeps asking Kai if there are any pretty girls where he is right now. Kai asks the members how they're doing, and they respond that it's boring. Kai says that he's also itching to dance again and he will be back after meeting his parents. The members wave Kai goodbye simultaneously. Yeonhee is still using her binoculars to spy on the EXO members, and the members have realized that Yeonhee was spying on them. They thought she would be harmless and come up with a plan. They act as if they are kissing each other to throw off Yeonhee. She is taken aback as she didn't expect such a provocative scene. As they close their blinds, Dio, a member, waves at Yeonhee to let her know that they are aware she is spying on them. Shell comes downstairs to the commotion, and the members ask him why they brought them to this house. He reveals that he lost something here, something special, he says, as he opens the blinds and looks Yeonhee dead in the eyes. Yeonhee has a nightmare about Shell since he looked her straight in the eyes the night before. She is moving in her sleep, and her mother and brother look at her. Her brother senses that something happened last night. Meanwhile, at the EXO house, they are having a lavish breakfast that the youngest member made for them to enjoy. Bon brings up Yeonhee and asks the members if they think she will go running around town telling everyone that they live here. He contemplates telling their manager, but Di tells him not to worry since, if she were to talk, it wouldn't be so peaceful right now. Chanel tells the members that Yeonhee is not bold enough to blab, especially not after what she did. The members ask Shell if he knows Yeonhee personally, and he says that he doesn't. Chanel alerts the members that someone is coming over to clean their house. Meanwhile, Yeonhee is angry and asks her mother why she has to clean their home and that she can't go no matter what. She asks her mother why she has to clean their house and do their laundry. Yeonhee's mother has no mercy, and she tells her daughter that this is not a favor but an order. She tells her daughter that she's going to get paid a lot. Yeonhee thinks about last night and tells her mom that she won't be cleaning their house no matter what. Her mother threatens to rent Yeonhee's room yet again. Yeonhee tells her mother that she will do anything but clean their house, but her mother is persistent. She gives the home's key card to Yeonhee and tells her not to talk to the guys there and to go in the morning since there won't be anybody at that time. She tells her daughter to pretend the members are invisible, even if they are present. Also, Yeonhee isn't allowed in the rightmost room on the second floor. Gun cheers Yeonhee up and tells her to clean their house well. Yeonhee tells Gun that she got busted for using the binoculars as well by the members. Switching scenes to Yeonhee's brother, he's out on a walk with his coat hanger to practice his martial arts. There, he meets a member of EXO walking. Yeonhee's brother demonstrates his skills in front of Sean. Seon walks up to Yeonhee's brother and asks him where the coffee shop is since he wants drip coffee. Yeonhee's brother realizes that this is the first time someone has asked him for help and wonders what drip coffee means. Seon explains to the brother what drip coffee means, but the brother doesn't know. Yeonhee's brother takes Seon into his tent, where he grinds coffee beans and makes really good coffee. Seon hopes to make a good friend with Yeonhee's brother. At the EXO house, Yeonhee starts to clean after gathering her supplies, reminiscing about Gun teaching her how to do it. Yeonhee's mother gets a call from EXO's manager asking her if the new maid is trustworthy, and she reassures him that the new maid is. In fact, Yeonhee's mother chose her daughter because she's trustworthy. At the EXO house, Yeonhee sniffs Byoon's clothes and goes crazy over the scent. She picks up a hat, which is Doo's, and makes a video with it. As she makes her way up the house to clean, she is about to open the door she was forbidden to, but she thinks that she shouldn't as she must respect the members' privacy. She does their laundry and cleans their masks. She finds them familiar. These are the same masks the men were wearing whom she encountered outside the convenience store. She thinks about the girl Matilda the boys were talking about and goes to find her inside the house. But she is met with a guitar engraved with the name Matilda on it. She wonders who the hell names their guitars white female names. Suddenly, she sees a roach and tries to kill it, but she messes up the room in the process. As she is about to put an end to the roach's life, someone walks into the room. It's Chanel. He asks Yeonhee what she is doing in his room, and she is standing there speechless. He screams at Yeonhee to get out of his room. As she goes outside the house, she squats and is full of sorrow. But another member, Dio, comforts her by putting his jacket over her and giving her things back. Yeonhee turns beet red, trying to explain that she didn't mean to go into his room. Chanel walks downstairs to hand Yeonhee her phone since it was left in his room, but he doesn't go any further because he sees that she is with Dio. A while ago, after finishing a concert, Chanel's necklace falls to the ground, and it ends up breaking. But he's taken aback when he hears the news that his grandfather has died. Shell reminisces about moments with his grandfather and when he handed the same necklace over to him when he was a kid. Chanel's grandfather tells him that he will be a world-renowned star. From that day onwards, misfortunes kept finding Shell. Shell is at her knees because of that red-cheeked girl, Yeonhee. Meanwhile, Yeonhee keeps calling her phone and thinks that she has lost it and wonders where she had left it. Chanel goes through her phone and thinks that she doesn't have any difference from season Tia Kachi since it's bright red. As he looks at her pictures, he sees a notification. It's Gun. She texts Yeonhee, asking her if she's doing well as a newlywed woman for EXO. Chanel, who has the phone, texts Gun that it's not right to pry into people's personal lives. After some back and forth, Chanel tells Gun to alert the owner of her phone to come get it later. Yeonhee cries and wonders what to do. She decides to sneak into Chanel's room and take her phone back with her. But Chanel gets out of the shower and catches her. He asks her if she knows who he is, not as a member of EXO but someone else.